Friends, greetings. Once again, friends, greetings. Today we will be having a discussion on the system or the administrative system or management what we are having in India and certain other topics also. Today we will have a discussion on India's system, India's society, India's economy, how and where it has reached now. For the last 8 9 months, if we all remember, we will see that the corona or the name, the COVID-19 or corona, it has occupied our mindset like anything. It has taken, or it has rather encroached upon our minds like anything, that we are forced to remember the names, the words associated with it. Two of the such words are, comorbidity and multiple organs failure. These two negative words, they have occupied our minds for the last 8 9 months, 10 months. We are not sure for how long they are going to occupy our minds. Corona is having most deleterious effect or most negative effect, most harmful effect on these two things pertaining to our bodies or our mental system or our physical system. Comorbidity is a kind of condition where you are already having certain diseases inside your body, and corona is attacking mostly these people having this sort of or some sort of comorbidity. And because of this, whether we are healthy or we are people with comorbidity, the multiple organs failure are being reported, and corona is causing casualties because of these two things. But today, why I am telling you all these things regarding corona, because we will have a focus or we will have a discussion on our India's management system or administrative system and sensitivity, what sort of sensitivity we have on our society, the Indian society and the Indian economy. In what condition are today these 3 4 things? Why we have or we get a feeling that perhaps India's administrative system, India's society, India's economy appear to be collapsed or appear collapsed. Why a shaking is required? Why it appears that an overhauling is required? A kind of resurrection is required, and that is required not only immediately, urgently. It should start without wasting even a minute. It should start without wasting even a second. Why do we have this sort of feeling? Why do we feel like this? I think as we go on discussing what we are having for discussion today, you will have a belief or you will have an idea that perhaps this sort of experiencing the current situation or the current time or the present time appears correct, appears realistic, appears true. And when we say, or when I say that India's administrative system or management, India's society or India's economy appear collapsed, you will perhaps believe in these words. So let us start. But before we start our discussion today, I just would like to have a request offered to you, or request to be made to you, that please share and like this discussion, subscribe to my channel, so that whatever I present before you as discussion, not only you or in addition to you, let others also get benefit or benefited out of the discussions. Let them have an idea of the things, of the situation that we are having before us, or we are living in what sort of situations or what sort of circumstances. And it will have some sort of lesson or learning messages for them, so that they are able to shape their future, shape their present, shape everything for themselves and for their families. So let us continue and let us go forward. In medical parlance, two extremely fearsome and deadly words are comorbidity and multiple organs failure. In COVID-19 times, these words are most lethal. Just look at the situation or scenario India is in. What kind of situation we see prevailing in India now today? Which one suits best? Perhaps are we having a situation where we are hopeful about the present, about the solution, about the problems that we are facing today, or are we hopeful about the times ahead, or rather we are pessimistic about the times ahead? I don't want to be sounded as pessimistic. I want to be an optimistic, and I am an optimistic person. But the kind of situation, the kind of scenario that we are living today in, or we are finding in India today, it is really worrisome, it is really fearsome. But which one suits best? Although this appears kind of negative, but still it has a negative connotation, but still we should discuss and then we should move forward. Having comorbidity or multiple organs failure, today we are in a situation we are forced to talk that which one suits best, rather than talking positive, rather than talking hopeful, rather than sounding optimistic. I am asking, or rather I am offering, which one is more suitable, comorbidity or multiple organs failure. That means which one is going to cause less and less harm to us. Is India suffering from both also, or rather is India suffering from both comorbidity and multiple organs failure? That means, are we in a kind of situation where perhaps we are suffering from symptoms of both? The present lethal problematic scenario that India is in amply confirms that India has reached a combined situation of both comorbidity and multiple organs failure. I don't know why this sort of feeling comes in our mind or in my mind, but the kind of situation, the kind of scenario that we are seeing in India today, perhaps this appears true or correct. Even if it is to some extent, it is not good. Just as a human body that suffers external comorbidity conditions like BP, diabetes, mental instability, etc., and internal multiple organs failure like kidney, liver, abdominal, heart, lungs, nervous system, respiratory system, etc., today's India too is suffering from deadly suicidal system, social, political, economic, media, etc. failures. It appears like that. It appears that the administrative system or management, it appears that the society or the social life, it appears that the political life or political situation or management or system, or the economy of the country and the media of the country, they all appear failures. They all appear that they have failed the country. Education and health offer no lifeline to the citizens of our country. The kind of situation we see, the kind of scenario we see, the kind of facts we see, the kind of truth we see in terms of education and health care. Corruption has taken final stage cancer. Infrastructure is always lifeless, always wanting. It doesn't serve our purpose of day-to-day life. Unemployment is rampant, very, very rampant. Businesses are closing across the country. Demonetization and GST played their effective roles in suffocating activities on employment and business sectors or business scenarios. Governance has almost completely failed or perished. There appears to be no governance at all in the country, the kind of situation we are in. India's management system or administrative system, India's sensitivity, India's society, India's economy all have collapsed beyond repair, and neither central government nor state governments have any idea how to deal with this suicidal situation or harmful situation. It appears that the kind of situation we see, corona numbers are increasing like anything. We had lockdown when there was corona infections, hardly 1 or 2 in a day at the national level. That time we had lockdowns and 100% lockdown, and today we are experiencing 100,000 numbers or 1 lakh numbers as corona infections every day across the country, and we are not in a situation to impose lockdown. Lockdown was required today. It was not required when it was announced, when it was imposed. That was one of the most faulty decisions taken by the government, particularly the Prime Minister of the country. But we suffered, and because of an untimely, wrongly decided lockdown, the country is suffering, and the Indian economy or the Indian society, which was already suffering due to bad decisions of demonetization and hastily implemented GST, is now on the deathbed due to corona and its related lockdowns. Its comorbidity and multiple organ failure scenario are both proving final nails in the coffin for the country. It is whatever we are discussing for India, for our country. It appears that the comorbidity and multiple organs failure conditions or scenario are both proving final nails in the coffin. As I am discussing today on the India's administrative system, India's society and India's economy, because these three are the most important things for us so far as our day-to-day survival is concerned, day-to-day activity is concerned. So we will have a longish discussion on this also, and we will try to keep it short but purposeful. So let us first discuss about the administrative system. What sort of system we see or we experience or we are experiencing rather in our country today. The governance system in India has effectively collapsed in both public as well as private sectors. Public sector and private sector both. Central government and the state governments are majorly responsible. Public is also equally responsible. Public sector is suffering from lack of agenda, lack of activity, corruption at all levels, abuse of power, expenses beyond limit, no strategy, haphazard approach, lack of action plan, no time limit planning, changing directions, etc., etc., etc. Private sector is suffering from corruption at top level, only profit motive, lack of quality, lack of service, compromising standards and government wings, compromising standards, compromising with government wings, polluting approaches, changing loyalties, squeezing resources, and public exploitation, etc., etc., etc. List is endless if you talk regarding public sector also and private sector also. What are the things that are ailing both? Now, combined together, both public and private sectors are drain our national resources like human and natural capital and wealth. Legislature, executive and judiciary, perhaps all are distracted from their core and focus areas and goals, concentrating more on flimsy things and non-issues, turning NPAs. Perhaps these three appear to be a non-performing asset. Getting jobs done in any department of central government or state governments is an uphill task. It is almost impossible to get done without greasing palms of the department officials and employees. The stakeholders responsible to ensure a smooth functioning of the system or administrative system are now themselves victims of the corruption network across the country. Initially, perhaps it started from the top. Now it has reached to the bottom most of any department or any wing so far as government is concerned, and now it has reached a situation where the stakeholders responsible to ensure smooth functioning of the system are now themselves victims of the corruption network across the country. Lifeline sectors like agriculture, manufacturing, services, finance, construction, communication, transportation, infrastructure, etc., 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 all are almost dead due to system abuse, dysfunction, and its negative effects. Basic amenities like clothing, water, food, roads, electricity, housing, etc. are not easily accessible to the public by the public for their survival on daily basis. All these basic amenities are very, very hard to find so far as individuals in the society or public are concerned. Families are concerned. In a short span of 70 years only, see, India as a country or as a civilization, we take pride in our being the oldest. We take pride that our civilization is the oldest and the most successful civilization, most longest civilization. Even then, in just a short span of 73 years only, despite India being proud of and boasting about the oldest civilization, is unable to run its affairs and shows anymore. On daily basis, on day-to-day basis, it appears standstill, it appears on the deathbed. This kind of administrative system is perhaps visible or we are experiencing today. Now let us come to the society. What sort of society we are having or we are experiencing or we have made so far as our country is concerned. One-upmanship has become the usual habit of individuals in the society. One-upmanship. I am okay, you are not okay. I am okay, you are not okay. You are all not okay, I am okay. One-upmanship has become the usual habit of individuals in the society. Mass degradation on ethical, financial, political, behavioral, intellectual counts are all pervasive, all encompassing, and being promoted and welcomed by all, little knowing that they will also be a victim one day, and nobody will show or come forward to show any sympathy and compassion toward today's practitioners. Whatever we are practicing, we will be practiced by others in the same coin. We will be paid in the same coin what we are doing to others today. But at that moment, nobody will come forward to help us. It appears fragmented. The Indian society appears fragmented on caste, color, creed, food habits, language, region, religion, political affiliations, etc., etc., beyond identity, beyond repair, beyond restructuring. Couple of decades back, families used to be joint ones. Joint ones or joint families were the basic structure of the society. The society lived so long successfully because of perhaps the joint families. Now they are not even nuclear. Nuclear families perhaps has been disappearing for the last few years. Now there is single parent families, live-in families, same-sex families, etc., etc., etc. Not even families also. One time or one parent or one individual is calling himself or herself a family. Joint families were the ideal ones for many reasons. They used to teach lessons of sharing, caring, togetherness, secularism, socialism, capitalism, child care, respect for women, everything, etc., whatever you call, everything positive was being taught when we were living in the joint family system. Other family structures, whatever you call it, whether nuclear family or single parent family or live-in family or same-sex family, other family structures teach lessons of selfishness, isolation, separatism, etc., resulting into lack of understanding and lack of mutual understanding and maximum stress for the family members, because there is nobody to fall back on, with whom you are going to share your sorrows, your bad moments, your negative moments, your depressing moments. Finding nobody, you are into some sort of stress or depression. High number of suicides is a result of this sort of living. COVID-19 precautions and warnings include physical or social distancing, a sort of separatist approach. It is my viewpoint that physical distancing or social distancing is a kind of separatist approach. It is said that man is a social animal. And when man is a social animal, it likes, or he or she loves to live in groups. And when we love to live in groups, then how can there be physical or social distancing? It is simply impossible. But COVID-19 or corona precautions and warnings say physical and social distancing. It is very well known that physical or social distancing will save COVID-19 spread. It will not increase COVID-19 spread, and it will break the chain of spreading also. But even then, people do not want to follow it. People do not want to follow social distancing. People do not want to follow physical distancing, knowing very well that it will break the chain of corona spread, COVID-19 spread. Whereas on their own, they adopt selfish and separatist approach to survive and get everything in their lives. When it comes to fulfilling their own objectives, their own greeds, needs, whatever you call, they implement or they adopt all kind of measures. They adopt all kind of approaches, be it social distancing, be it physical distancing, be it separatist approach, be it any kind of approach. And at that moment, they don't feel like having something negative or something bad. But when we say, or when medical practitioners or experts are suggesting physical or social distancing, we don't want to follow. Furthering central government agenda, fake news and media are playing a spoil sport for the society. Fake news is mostly being spread from the government agencies. Media also is playing in the hands of the government departments, government agencies. They appear to be acting sometimes perhaps against the interests of the country. Dichotomy in a speech and behavior differences, rather saying something and doing something or behaving something differently of the individuals, although it is suicidal, is quite visible. Politics has spoiled the social fabric of the country, that is beyond doubt. Without doubt, it can be said that politics has spoiled the social fabric of the country. Today, within the family, within the society, person-to-person communication is almost negligible. People don't want to talk. The moment they start talking on political affiliations or political issues, it appears that they are not jiving well, they are not going on well, they are not grooving well. They start talking something differently, they start talking something abusive about each other, for each other. This kind of society, how long we are going to survive, or we are going to experience or bear? Are we going to tolerate this sort of society? No. Now let us come back to the last topic of discussion today, that is India's economy. How is it in? What kind of situation is in our Indian economy? For the last 3 or 4 years, Indian economy is facing all kind of negative roadblocks, negative shocks. November 16 started. Before that, it can be said to be doing well, because at one point of time, 2011, 13, 12, 4, whatever financial years, it was the Indian GDP growth was around 8%, 9%, 10, and from there, the last financial year, last quarter, it came down to 3%. November 16, demonetization was implemented. July 17, GST was implemented. It was hastily, demonetization was mindless, and GST was hastily implemented without any preparation. And both announcements were at the behest of the Prime Minister. Perhaps he thought that he will bring the country out of the mess that India is in, or perhaps he wanted to create something good for the country, but without having thorough study, without having well or very good preparations. Economy is in doldrums today. It is on deathbed. In my previous YouTube uploads, I have presented reasons of the economy in doldrums. You can watch other videos on my channel, Alok Kumar India. It is now on deathbed. It is beyond doubt. It can be said with 100% certainty that Indian economy is in deathbed, is on deathbed. Even ventilator and ICU apparatus cannot bring it to life the way it is being handled by the central government. State governments are also helpless. They don't have any idea. The central government is completely clueless about symptoms and ways out. They do not know. It does not know what to do, what not to do, when to do, what to do, how to do. On many parameters, the Indian economy is registering negative achievements of last 5-6 decades. It is having negative growths for the last 5-6 decades on many parameters, be it GDP growth, non-performing assets, unemployment, tax collections, consumer demand, export, fiscal deficit, import, Indian rupee, American dollar, conversion rates, industrial production, poverty, healthcare, education, income, demand, consumption. Nothing appears positive at present. On all counts, all parameters, whatever I have just narrated before you or told before you, Indian economy is registering negative growth for the last 5-6 decades, highest negative growth in the last 5-6 decades. Nothing appears positive at present. Indian economy could not recover fully, perhaps, from 2008 Lehman crisis, resulting into non-performing assets increasing from 2011-12, and now today it is to almost 10 to 15% of the total advances, and in the terms of absolute figures, it is around 12 lakh crores. Favorable crude prices, international crude prices have been down for almost 4 or 5 years now, but favorable crude prices, international crude prices from 2014 to even today now has not made life easier for common man. The central government is putting all sorts of taxes on it to make the life of the common man difficult, rather very difficult. We are forced to pay higher prices than what we should have been paying if it was coming on the basis of the international prices, whatever is available today, or whatever price it is being sold in the international market. Mindless demonetization and hastily implemented GST were already writing havoc stories owing to their combined destructive effects on the economy. Corona and related lockdowns have only added further to the destructive forces destroying it. Demonetization and GST did not do any favor or good to the Indian economy. Corona and lockdowns have also added the negativeness related to associated with their decisions. Lockdown was implemented, 100% strict lockdown was, or a strictest lockdown was implemented when the total India was reporting 1 or 2 corona infections in a day. Today, corona infections are being reported in 1,100,000 numbers, around 100,000 numbers on daily basis. Lockdown was required maximum today, most today, badly today, but it was implemented when it was not required. Actually, when a disease can be treated by use of medicines or by administering medicines, you adopted measures like ICU and ventilator related treatments you did. Now when ICU and ventilator related treatments are required, you are not even in a position to offer medicines. You can understand, you can estimate, you can have a guess what kind of destructive situation we are in. Government, central government is helpless, state governments are helpless. Any family, any individual in the society, Indian society is helpless, and consecutively, or rather, sorry, combiningly, everything together, the Indian economy is also helpless, appears totally helpless. And that is why there is every possibility that the silver linings for the Indian economy may not be appearing or may not be coming forward in the near future until we are in a position to do something about, we are able to make a U-turn or take a turnaround, positive turnaround for the Indian economy. So many experts have already discussed on all aspects destroying economy, resulting into a scenario causing hardships and suicidal tendencies among public. Income generating opportunities for the common public have completely been lost, causing highest unemployment and business loss in the country. MSMEs, micro, small and medium enterprises are not able to survive. Individuals and families are losing their happy moments. Happy moments give you motivations, keep you engaged, keep you motivated to do many good things. But individuals and families today are losing their happy moments. They are all under tremendous stress and tension, rather in a depression. Inflation coupled with no income is causing hellish, diabolical financial situations, forcing them to commit suicides. Unable to handle finances, central government is creating roadblocks for the states, harming the federal structure of the country. We are seeing in GST distribution, GST collections are falling, or there is a shortfall in the target of GST collections, and the central government is telling that you do this thing, you arrange or you borrow or you arrange money from the market, you borrow from RBI or whatever, this and that, and the central government is trying to force its decisions on the state governments. It is a kind of weakening the federal structure of the country, but still it is being done. Law and order is totally out of place. Our law and order in a state, in the country, at the country level, at the mass level, it appears totally out of place. Now, after having discussion on these three things, what kind of inference or what kind of outcomes we should see or discuss as an individual, as a society, for our administrative system, for our management, for our day-to-day life, for our society and for our economy. I hope you agree with what I'm going to say now. Individuals in India, from the Prime Minister to the last man, 140 crore individuals, 140 crore is the population of our country. It is nearing almost, it is not there, but it is nearing almost. And 140 crore individuals in India, from the Prime Minister to the last man, is like that monkey who jumps from one branch to another branch of the trees, enjoying its time, but without any output and productivity, either for self or for India's GDP. Every individual today appears busy, appears moving here and there, appears full of activity, but he or she is not able to add anything to itself, to himself, herself, or families, or their families, and they are not able to add anything to the India's GDP also. Everyone can be termed and defined as non-performing asset. Perhaps you will agree. Now, what about institutions? What about departments, wings? What about public sector? What about private sector? What about these entities, these institutions? Institutions in India, central or state governments, whatever, are almost dead with no real performance. Entire India and its wings and departments, government departments, public departments, sector departments, or private sector departments, whatever, entire India and its wings and departments belonging to either public or private sectors, assets like main, machine, material, natural or manual, whatever, resources of the country, they all can now be termed and defined as non-performing assets. We are in a situation like this. The central government, or the decisions taken by the central governments for the last few decades, and particularly last 3, 4, 5 years, whatever you call it, gradually every central government perhaps deteriorated the condition of the country in such a way that now we are in a situation to define everything, every resource of the country, natural or manual resource of the country, whether it is main, machine, material belonging to public sector or private sectors, government departments, wings, whatever, they all can be termed and defined as non-performing assets. Now last but not the least, India claims to become the Vishwa Guru, providing the much needed torchlight to lead the world on various aspects of human and nature's survival and success. Everywhere you must be hearing the talk that we are Vishwa Guru, or we are going to be the Vishwa Guru, we are going to lead the world, we are going to be the leaders in the world, we are going to be the torchlight or torch bearers of the world. But what is the reality? The reality is totally different. India claims to become the Vishwa Guru, providing the much needed torchlight to lead the world on various aspects of human and nature survival and success. But today, India itself needs a vaccine to immunize itself from all kinds of bad effects, negative effects affecting the administrative system or management, affecting its society, affecting its economy negatively. India itself is direly needing a vaccine where it can insulate its own management system, administrative system, its own society and its own economy from the deterioration, from the negativity, from the hopelessness that is setting in, or rather perhaps has set in already. Till any solution is found out, India will suffer badly thanks to its selfish, arrogant and opportunist Prime Minister and his party, because they are all in denial of anything like this. So long as you deny the realities, so long as you deny the truth, so long as you deny the experiences being experienced by 140 crores, the population that we have in the country, solution is difficult to find out. But still, we have to be hopeful. Let there be some good things happening in our country. Let there be some light in the country. Let there be somebody who can take us out of this morass, out of this mess, where we can be really hopeful, and we can be very encouraging for not only ourselves, for the future generations to come also. Friends, on this note, let me finish my discussion, and once again, last but not the least, one request: please share, please like, and please subscribe to my channel, and encourage others to also like and share and subscribe my channel, so that all the discussions we are doing here, others also get benefit out of. Thank you, friends. All the best. Thank you again.